Greenhalgh was once a prolific forger. From ancient carvings to modern paintings, there was nothing he couldn't make.
Like putting in an old window.
But a spell in prison convinced him to renounce his past. So he's teamed up with Oxford historian Dr Janina Ramirez.
Oh my gosh!
To rediscover the secrets of the ancients and to try to match their skills. As for me, I'm Waldemar Januszczak, and my job is to keep tabs on them. Yanina and Shaun have come to London, to one of the world's great collections of decorative arts, the Victoria and Albert Museum. There's lots to see here.
And there's David.
But Yanina has brought Shaun to the V&A for a particular reason.
Beautiful space here. We're in the Islamic galleries.
She wants to show him something that will take his breath away.
I want to show you these, Shaun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fatimid rock crystals.
Exactly, Fatimid rock crystals. So this is about 1,000 years old, and yet it's intact. It is made of rock crystal. Now, just the most difficult medium to work with, as I understand. Have you worked with rock crystal before?
I have. I have worked with it. It's not too bad to shape, but the polishing and the finishing of it is really difficult.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So
to bring it to a glass shine, it's a very laborious process.
And what about getting hold of a lump of crystal like this?
Well, you'd be hard pushed to get a piece that size anywhere in the world today. That would be very difficult. Rock crystal's common material, but it's always full of fractures, almost always. And these rare pieces that the Fatimids use, they're what they call water clear. As you can see, they're water clear.
Absolutely.
There's no cracks or fractures in them at all. They look like they're made of glass.
They do, they do.
And modern glass as well, with the clarity of it.
Exactly, something that we take for granted now, that we can see
absolutely.
a clear material like that.
Must have been a wonder to them.
Absolutely. So we've got one of the finest pieces here in the ewer.
Yeah.
But how long do you think that would take to make?
2 years. Maybe with a team of people making it, and you will get a lot of failures as well.
Really?
Get into the finer parts of handle and places.
So you couldn't do that?
No, that would be... I couldn't source the quartz, let alone make it in the time, no.
What about this little one here?
Well, that's close to what we could do. Maybe even a little bit smaller than that one is actually there, because like I said, to get the water clear rock crystal today, it's very difficult.
What would you do once you've got a good obelisk of the crystal? What's your first thing that you'd have to think
The first
about?
thing to do is to cut it into shape, put on the decoration, and then polish it, which is forever.
Really?
Polishing to get the glass clear that you see on it there is labour intensive. It's just time and time and time. But the actual shaping is relatively simple.
This looks like a really tricky thing to make.
This will be a big challenge to make one of these.
Well, I don't want to put you to all this polishing, but I want to see if you can do the challenge of making me something like that rock crystal Islamic vial.
I'll give it my best shot. That's all I can say.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
So am I. Be able to have a rest when I finished it.
Yeah. Stop polishing.
Yes.
What do you use to polish?
I can't remember initially.
Back in Oxford, Dr Janina Ramirez has been finding out all she can about the Fatimids.
The Fatimids were an Islamic dynasty that ruled for about 2 centuries, from the 10th century to the 12th century, and governed a huge area of the world, from over here in Persia, through Arabia and Egypt and Northern Africa. And in the 10th century, they made Cairo their capital. What's interesting about the Fatimids is they claim descent from the Prophet Muhammad's daughter, Fatima. Yet, because of the expanse of their empire, they were very religiously tolerant. They encountered people of all different religions across this expanse. And instead of just suppressing them or killing them, they incorporated some of their ideas in their art. And Old Cairo in particular becomes a hub of creativity. There are all sorts of workshops for pottery, textiles, metalworking. But really, the big thing that they're known for is their use of rock crystal. Now, rock crystal has very distinctive properties. Today, we tend to think of clear glass, being able to look through a medium like this, that's something that we just take for granted. But back in the 10th century, rock crystal was pretty much the only mineral that would give you complete translucency. And there's a religious aspect to rock crystal too, because the Quran states that in paradise, they can drink from rock crystal vessels. And it's also a sign of the purity that you can expect in paradise after death.
For Shaun Greenhalgh, paradise is the converted mill in Bolton, where he has his workshop. He's been losing sleep on the rock crystal challenge, but he's finally decided what to do.
Decided to do a Fatimid rock crystal bottle that was sold at the V&A, so I'm just putting a design in for it now. I can't really do anything large like the yours, it would just take too long to do that, so these are the kind of things it would have probably perfume in. A simple little thing, plain geometric decoration and a scroll pattern, a vine scroll pattern around the centre. I've used rock crystal before, I've used it for various things, reliquaries in the main, like not the Fatimid, I've only made one Fatimid small bottle like this. I had about 3 goes at it, finally made it and turned it into a medieval reliquary, put some rag in it and a bit of, supposedly the blood of Christ, which was cinnabar, ground cinnabar and water. I had a heck of a time to get the shine onto it. I'm hoping that things will go better this time, but we'll see. Putting a bit of a wash in the background just to bring the drawing out from the background, kind of. It's not really necessary, but it just get it in your mind's eye of what you actually have to achieve. And then that'll be done.
With the design done, Shaun's next task is to find himself some rock crystal.
I'll have to have a scroll through, see what they've got.
The Fatimids got theirs in Madagascar. Shaun gets his online.
Now that looks possible. I'll have a look at it enlarged. No, we'll have that.
A couple of days later, the postman delivers his parcel.
Have a look at this crystal now. We'll have to see what we have. There we are. Beautiful crystals, almost flawless. Most of that will cut out actually. I'm really pleased with it.
All he has to do now is to come up with a contraption that can hollow the crystal.
You can't buy these, so you have to design them yourself and make them yourself. So I'll start with this one first, where we actually drill the core out to get the actual hollow in the vessel.
To build his homemade crystal drill, Shaun's going to need some plywood. So he pops upstairs to see his friend, Jed the Carpenter.
Hey, Shaun.
Hi, Jed.
All right.
Yeah, OK.
Yeah, come in.
OK. Hello, dog. How are you doing? What I'm looking for is a piece of plywood.
Yeah.
About 1/2 inch or just some bit less than that.
What sort of size? This size?
Yeah, about 15 by 10, something like 12, something of that nature.
What about that? That do you?
Oh, yeah, that's great. That looks ideal. All right, thank you. What do I owe you?
Nothing, you're all right.
Oh,
No
cheers,
problem.
man. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's very generous of you.
Knocking up the drilling gizmo doesn't take long. A bit of sawing, a bit of drilling, and the plywood crystal shaper is ready for action.
There we have it. I've made this little jig now and finished it. This will hold the crystal in place for core drilling. That's like to put a hollow in the crystal to hold whatever scented oils or perfumes it was used for. Now I'm using an electric drill and a diamond core bit. Now the ancients, the Fatimids, would have used something familiar down the ages, a bow drill just made out of a piece of willow, the string. We'll take this for the drill bit. We'll load the drill bit. There we go. Now we've got it in now. Now you have to start a hole. You've got your start hole. Hold it steady. It's difficult to get going in the beginning, but persevere. We'll get there. There'll probably be someone else pressing down on the actual drill bit to get pressure. So as you can see, I'm not going to use one of those to drill it, so we'll leave that aside and get on with the real thing. Now this is a diamond core drill for drilling hard stone. You can see it's hollow through. There's a diamond centred around there. The reason it's a hollow for drilling stone is that you want to take out as little material as you can so there's least resistance, so a cylinder will go down much more quickly than a solid drill. You're taking less out, so you're using less. Bring it into position. Very slowly at the first, just to make a score mark on it.
While Shaun in Bolton begins drilling his fragile rock crystal, Yanina has come to sunny Yorkshire, to the only crystal mine in Britain.
Hi.
Hi, Yanina. Welcome to Rogerley.
Lovely.
She wants to see how crystal is found in its natural form. And Vitek, the mine manager, is happy to show her.
Go to the right of the wagon there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was the original flat line
Yeah,
here.
yes, it was just here.
Yeah. God, it's really sludgy underfoot. Ooh, this is explorer territory. I love this. So these tracks presumably are to cart out what you're digging at the ends.
Yes, yeah.
And have you been finding the crystals all the way down?
Most of the way down, yeah.
You can see even now as we walk past, the walls are sparkling. But not all of it rock crystal, is it?
No, it's totally random product. So sometimes you hit nothing and then you have to keep turning the ground over to find more crystals.
Wow. So you're like a little mole, you
Yes,
like to get into the tunnel.
To get there as fast as possible. Yeah, hit the targets.
But I suppose the idea that human eyes haven't seen these
Never,
things.
no, never. You're the first one ever to see this.
God, that's amazing. Is that all crystal then?
A lot of it is, yeah.
Gosh, it glimmers in the light. Look at that. Oh my. I mean, they're just beautiful to me. They're like natural works of art. I'd absolutely love to see them coming out of the ground.
Yeah, and it's actually a skillful job to extract these crystals. So we employ Michael Wood, who's a professional collector, to collect for us.
Oh, can Mike get some out for us now?
Yeah. Mike, can you come in and just pull out a piece for us?
Oh, how exciting. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Yanina.
You gonna do, which one are you gonna go for?
Oh, that one up there looks like that's
Oh, yes, please. All right, go on. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Okay. This looks like a good bit.
Golly. Oh, well done, Mike. You've got a big chunk there.
That's not bad.
That's fantastic. Gosh, look. For me, this is nature's art.
Yes. Yeah.
And for you?
For me, it's about turning the money over and continuing with the project.
All about the money.
Yes, well, yeah.
Ooh, a bit wobbly.
Yanina in Yorkshire may be happy, but in Bolton, Shaun isn't.
I was working on the crystal, started to core drill it, and I saw a fracture in the side of the stone start to run, getting worse and worse. I thought I could get away with it, but it just came away about 1/4 done. And I've had a few accidents in the past. I've not worked a great deal with it, but it's very, very unpredictable. You probably get 1 out of 10. I should think the Fatimids will get roughly the same. So I'm going to have to get a new crystal, start all over again and have another go, and hopefully this time we'll get it out.
With the crystal in pieces, Shaun has to start searching again.
This is Gemcraft's website.
So he opens up his contacts book, and a couple of days later, the postman brings a new one.
This crystal has a bit more colour in it than the old one, but it should be quite suitable. It's more, look a bit broader so we can get a better core out of it, probably without it fracturing. So we'll have a go at that one now. Positions everything has to be dead centred. I'm going to have to put the water in a little reservoir first of all, because if the core drill burns dry, it'll burn the diamonds off of it. So it all has to be done underwater all of the time.
Here we go.
While Shaun drills away perilously on the new crystal, Yanina arrives in Bolton for a swift visit.
Hi, Shaun. How are you? Good to see you. I'm so excited to be in here with you.
Yes, we're getting on with the crystal now.
Wow. Oh, gosh.
Core drilling it, I'll just drink so I can show you.
Yeah. Oh, it's looking fabulous.
We're about 2/3 of the way down.
Oh, it's a beautiful bit of crystal, isn't it?
It is,
Lovely
yeah.
and clear.
Pretty flawless, yes. One or two cloudy areas, but I think we'll cut those out as we work on it, so.
Wow.
The bad news is, though, I broke the first crystal, so this is the second one.
Wow.
I'll go and get it for you and show you.
Oh, dear. But somewhat inevitable. These things are very fragile,
These
aren't
things
they?
happen, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that the Fatimids had their own problems as we have with it. So.
Oh. When did this happen then? Just when you were starting?
You can see there's the core.
No.
But thankfully, we hadn't got too far, so we've not wasted too much time. If you look at the depth we have in this one now...
Yeah, you're already deeper, aren't you?
Much deeper, yes.
Oh.
It was just a flaw in the stone. It happens. You can see
Oh, I see.
the vertical one there. That's a flaw.
And that's a natural flaw in the stone?
These just cloud, but that is definitely a flaw. You see, it's slightly different colour. It's more grey than white.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
that would probably have gone anyway, so...
But it just goes to show, doesn't it, that the sourcing of the material is so important.
Yes,
and then
yes.
there must have been damages surviving.
Yeah, I would imagine 1 in 10 they would get out.
Oh, Shaun, I hope this one doesn't go.
I know.
We need this one to get to the end.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, I'm going to let you get on.
OK.
OK. Look at these great pictures.
With the drilling taking several eternities at once, Shaun needs to think ahead. So he pops upstairs to see Jed the carpenter.
Hi, Jed.
Hi, Shaun. You all
Got
right?
this thing I'm making. I wonder if you could help me
yeah.
out. This is Islamic bottle,
Very nice.
rock crystal.
Right, OK.
And this is the actual dimensions.
Right.
So I'm looking for a little box. Would that be possible?
Certainly, yeah. What, sort of like something like that shape?
Yeah, well, that's actual size. It's going to be cut off at about here, so it's going to be about 7.5 centimetres
All right, OK.
by about 3.5 centimetres diameter. So
Yeah. I've got some different veneers. You could do like a veneered box. If
Really? Yeah,
that'd
that'd be.
I've got some different materials if you want to have a look through them.
Yeah.
There's some... that's bird's eye maple. That's burr poplar.
They're popular.
Yeah, see what I forgot.
What do we have here?
That's a bit of yew. That's really nice, that, but we've not got much of it, unfortunately.
I think this burr poplar is beautiful one, isn't it?
Right, OK, yeah.
Is it possible to have it veneered in that?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
You've got enough, yeah?
Well, I could probably do it for you for next week.
Next week?
If that's...
Wow, brilliant. Right, I'll bugger off and leave you in peace.
OK.
OK.
See ya.
See you later.
A week later, a concerned Yanina is back in Bolton, checking up on Shaun's progress.
So, Shaun, how are you getting on with the rock crystal?
Well, I've core drilled it, Yanina.
Yeah.
It's like taking the middle out of it. And now we've got to profile it, we've got to shape it on the outside, in effect, to get it, first of all, into a cylinder, just the basic shape of the bottle before we can start decorating. Yeah. So that's what we're working on now.
So good that you've got the core out. It's hollow now. That was where it got a bit scary last time.
It went wrong last time, yeah. So, so now we've mounted it horizontally, so we can spin it against the rotating blade to form a cylinder. You can see it's cut to a cylinder there. No.
Grief. And that's going to happen right the way across.
Yeah.
What's going on with this blade? Is it a special type?
Diamond sinter blade. It's just a type for cutting tiles in bathroom tiles. We modify it.
I mean, this is the thing, coming up with this sort of engineering, Shaun. You know, you're not just having to think about the art object, how it's made, putting all this...
That's the part I really like about making these things, coming up with all the Heath Robinson inventions to get them made.
Yeah, you're Mr. Leonardo. And are you confident that this one's going to hold together?
Yes, I think so. There's a small flaw in it, you can see there.
Oh, yes, I can see it.
But it's a flaw running out of the stone rather than into the stone.
Oh, yes.
So if it runs, it'll run to the surface and it'll be cut away.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed, absolutely.
My goodness, this is the one that makes me really anxious, I have to say.
Me too. It's a difficult thing to make.
OK, well, I'm scared because I know this is going to be noisy, messy and potentially disastrous.
Yes.
But I think you'd better carry on.
We'll get on with it then. It splashes a bit when we first fire it up.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's just a mist of water, so we can get on with that now. Right, you can see the spray, but I've got to keep it cool because the blade has to be kept cold. Otherwise, we'll get a fracture in the stone and wear the diamond off the blade.
So it's very important to have that water running around it.
Crucial.
After another eternity of relentless slicing, Shaun still hasn't finished, but he's got somewhere at last.
Take it off the dough carefully. Right, that's the bottle shaped. It's been really hard work, 3 full weeks solid, all full of anxiety if we're going to get another break in the crystal. But luckily it's turned out okay. So now I have to put the scroll pattern in along the band here, and the pattern around the broad band here. The rest of it will be polished clear and plain. So that's just about all I can do on it now. The decoration will probably take 2-3 weeks probably, and then another fortnight to polish till we get it to water clear. So that's 5 weeks from now to finish such a tiny thing, so I'll have to be getting on with it. Right, so we're going to have to cut the chevrons first. So now we have to draw the design onto here, the vine leaf scroll. Right, I finished the drawing now, so we need to get on with the cutting. I need the magnifier and the glasses. There we have it. Jed, you there?
Hiya, Shaun. You all right?
Is the box ready?
It is indeed, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got it here for you.
Great stuff.
All right for you.
Oh, wow. That's a beautiful piece of wood. It's the bar poplar, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah.
It's come up lovely. I like that.
Hopefully that gives you a bit of room.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. When
got it inside its...
Yeah, when it's wrapped in a... Oh, that's brilliant. Right, so, big question. How much?
Yeah, 100 quid to you.
100, that's a bargain. That's great. We've got 100 quid. All spent. Thanks for a bit my hand off there. OK. All right. OK, Jed.
No
Thanks very much. Thank you.
See you, mate.
There's one job left on the rock crystal bottle, but it's the one Shaun dreads. With rock crystal, everything's difficult, but polishing it is the hardest task of all.
Right, we've finished the cutting of the design. Right, and now I'm getting on with the polishing. That is the most difficult part. There's a lot of sculptures too, like Michelangelo's marbles. The actual cutting of them was the hard part, but the long, laborious part was the polishing. It just takes forever, and that's why these Islamic things are so valuable, because of the actual amount of labour that goes into them. That's why they're so rare. So we'll make a start and stop talking. Gently push it on, and be very careful. See if we've got it centred now. No, so strip it. Now it's centred. Yeah, the Islamic people would do this more or less in the exact same way. Obviously, they wouldn't have electricity and sandpaper, but the grits they would use would be quite similar to get the same effect. They'd probably just use it in a slurry, probably with a piece of goatskin as a backing, and they would use it that way. So this would be familiar to them. If they saw this, they would understand what was going on. They'd probably envy my electric drill, I can imagine. My ambition is to have it absolutely water clear. As clear as looking through that window there. It will be when it's finally done with the 7,000 grits, so that's what we're aiming for. We'll get there eventually. I'll see you in a month's time.
But just remember, if you ever try this at home, wear some goggles. A month later, back at the V&A, Shaun has arranged to meet Yanina in the Islamic rooms.
Hey, Shaun.
Hello.
In that little box is what we're here for. I am so excited to see this.
How much work have you put into this?
A lot, and it hasn't come out quite as we thought.
Oh my
There we are.
goodness. It's fantastic. I mean, just to know that that's made out of a single piece of rock crystal.
But you've had some
We have a
issues
bit
with
of
the
cloud.
crystal.
Yeah, it's a poor quality, but it's nothing I can do about it. And it's a shame, really, because this is the thinnest part, and it would have been the most blingy if it hadn't have had the flaws in it. But it's difficult to get the stuff. I don't know where they got this from. Probably high altitude Tibet, they reckon, but
Really?
you just can't get it today.
Isn't that incredible? So, you know, the sourcing of the materials is absolutely central to how these artefacts were made.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we can't source them now with the internet.
I know.
How did they get this then?
No idea.
It's amazing.
If you look at the bottom end, it's water clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here, this area.
clear. I can see completely.
I've taken the vine scroll off of it, ground it back, because there wasn't time to polish it, so I decided to take it off and do intaglio and gild it, which is known in Fatimid art.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've gilded the actual inscription. It's salam.
Salam.
Yeah, in 4 directions, north, south, east and west.
Oh, aren't you clever?
And a blank panel for contemplation,
Wow.
which is Islamic, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I didn't keep a record of hours. Just so many of them.
Just kept going.
I didn't want to know. Yeah, just kept going. Yeah.
And you had to obviously work with a higher grade and then come down to really fine grain.
Start with 180 grades. 180, 240,
Okay.
400, 600, 800, 1,000, 1,200, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 and 7,000. Each one will take probably 3 days.
Good.
You're just kind of removing one set of scratches with another and another, finer and finer and finer until you get it.
I can't believe what you've achieved in the time. I think it's absolutely stunning. And I mean, this is the one that I thought was going to crack, going to break, going to go wrong.
Well, it did at the first attempt. Yeah. And that was a better piece of crystal, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's the way it goes.
Well, the problem with this business is there's always another problem around the corner, isn't there?
Absolutely.
We better get on and address the next
let's go.
one.
Went to college, studied art. To be an artist, make a start. Studied hard, gained my degree. No one seemed to notice me.